So at Serie A, the center of the football universe.
Yes, the most important league.
For now, I mean, obviously the Saudi league is coming, but
Yeah.
for now, the Italian league, the heart of where it's all happening. Um, in my memory, Will, one of the first dodgy guys in football, in my football memory, Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah, a classic, a veteran of the dodgy guy.
Yeah, and again, when you're small, you're not really sure what that means. Even you're just kind of like, he's like kind of Italian, and he's got slick back hair. And he's always kind of got a shit-eating grin on, But
Yeah.
this is a really awful memorial to say for him. He's passed away recently, but he was a great man for AC Milan. He turned that whole club around for a year. Again, a long time before my time, but yeah, it took them from kind of they were up and down in the Serie A, if you can imagine Serie A or AC Milan being like a kind of a Wolves kind of
A yo-yo.
a West Brom type yo-yo team in Serie A. When he took them over, he really turned around. I mean, sure, he took that fame and power and turned it into like political power. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's again. I think I told this before when I was watching All the President's Men with Sarah, and I was like, "Do you like it?" It's like, was that it? Is that all he did? He just
Yeah.
recorded a couple of people. I was like, well, yeah, that's really bad. It's like, yeah, well, back then,
You
maybe.
can't do that.
But now, I mean, that seems so tame. I mean, and what Berlusconi did, or in comparison to what's happening in sport now, it's like, wait, he was actually, we think
pretty good owner.
Well, he was one of the bad guys. Like, well, he did a lot for AC Milan, like he never broke any rules. Well, I'm sure he did.
Get him out.
Yeah. No, like I say, I mean, I didn't really know anything about him in his pomp or even afterwards, but there's probably a few things that I'm speaking. I guess he was a great man, and there's probably going to be like lots of stuff that comes out now because when they die.
This is the one. This is the one that takes us down.
Berlusconi, he's a great man in my book. No, a footballing man, he's a great man, I think. But whatever comes out in the next few weeks and months, I had no prior knowledge of.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
They say many garbage things.
You don't know what you're going to get.
You'll learn a lot more if you listen rather than talk all the time.
No problem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Know Nothing podcast with Cathal and Will. Champions League final recap edition.
Yeah, the big one. It's here.
Here comes Treble.
Title straight away.
Here comes, boys. It's the treble. It's happened. I don't know, Will. At the start, I was thinking the perfect scenario for me would be City losing, and then Man United fans pathetically coming out saying, "We're the only treble team. Look at us. We're the only treble team." Because it happens every year when the team that's romping the league at the start, and people go, "Is it going to be an invincible season? Are they going to win every game? How could they lose every game?" Yeah. And then all the pathetic Arsenal fans, my peers, they all come out and go, "We're the only invincible team." I'm like, it's the worst thing. It's like you realize how long ago that was. You're talking about, no one's going to beat us at that thing. It's like, yeah, but what have you done this year? If you were doing this year, you wouldn't be talking about the thing that happened, 20 years ago. You'd be talking about this year, but you're not. So I was thinking this will be great. City won't win it. It'll seem like there's the Arsenal fans or the Liverpool fans that made fun of it for so many years. Do you remember those old classic memes? It was like, Liverpool on the History Channel because that's all they were talking about.
Yeah.
Like now,
next year's our year, all that.
Yeah, United have come what they made fun of, So this be perfect, but it didn't work out that way.
Amazingly, I've seen a lot of Arsenal invincible talk. Like, loads of clubs win the treble, but there's still only one of us.
It's the sad. It's the worst thing. It's awful. Like, look, onto the present, I suppose. Now we're literally doing it. We're literally talking about what people said this year. What are people saying now about this historic achievement in the Premier League?
I'll tell you what they're saying. Not much. I think on the day they were like, incredible achievement, incredible team. Pep's won 2 trebles now. But as we've been saying all season, it's the big cloud over everything. Has really put a dampener on it all. Where it's like some people aren't arsed about it at all. Other people are like genuinely annoyed that they've been so successful. It's like, well, it's kind of a slap in the face to everyone, isn't it? So it's not as crowning an achievement as something like this usually feels like. It doesn't feel like as historic a moment.
What I'm most annoyed about is that I was almost right again on a prediction.
I know, yeah, you nearly nailed the final.
I've never seen a final that was good. I don't like. I mean, there's too much at stake. This knockout, baby. There's no. We'll get them next week. This is like it's one game. There's no second leg. There's no away goals. There's nothing. It's like make one mistake. That could be it. And we saw a couple times where it should have been it.
Yeah, it really should have been. I mean, City were the worst team the whole game.
City did not. That was, I'd say, the worst game I've seen. Like, they had a few wobbles this year, but I think just the mistakes they were making was so uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ederson like slipping at the back. And
the
stuff.
one where he gave it to, I don't know who it was. I think it was Brea who then tried to kick from like the halfway at the wrong end, curling it like it would have been, unbelievable angle for the goal to go in. It was never on. But then it cuts to Pep screaming at Ederson to relax. And it's like, well,
that's not going to help. That never helps.
Everybody be calm. It's like, well, you have to lead by example here, Pep.
There's only 88 minutes left.
It was a half an hour in, so like it wasn't like the first 5 minutes. It's like, let's sit down. I was like, you're well into the half, and like, these mistakes will happen. Pep was losing it. I suppose the big chance came for Lautaro Martinez, and that the first half it was Bernardo Silva. Again, it's a class thing. You play it back. The guy who thinks, is that for me or is that for the guy behind me? It's probably for the guy behind me. And then you look, and there's another guy behind you.
I'll leave it for him.
He's almost in.
Yeah.
Lautaro Martinez looked like he was kind of in two minds of what to do. Like in that situation, I think you have to either go around the keeper and make him do that kind of embarrassing, like slow, on his knees, crawling after you, and go around him, or you need to hit it first time, square it first time, hit it first time. But what he did was like, I'll get the ball here, I'll go with my right foot, that's my strong foot. It's like, too late, And then he went, Ederson's right on me. He's probably expecting me to square it, so I'll kick it where he should be. As if Ederson's going to dive out and leave the goal open. It was essentially
I have to stop the tap in.
Like this thing for the goalie, like, listen, don't want this going in past me. I gotta hold off this guy.
Yeah.
If he squares it, that's not the goalie's fault. If the goalie made bad and again, so he completely psyched himself out there and just kicked it right at Ederson. This was the second half, was it? I think, because Lukaku was on.
It was the second half because Lukaku was standing there, hands out. Now, judging from the rest of the game, it could have been a case of Martinez looked up, he saw Lukaku and he went, I'm going to go for it myself.
Well, you know what? Lukaku, that classic thing where, like, when I look back over it again, I was like, it would have been a very instinctive first-time pass, and it would have been perfect. Yeah. Lukaku did the thing of, like, pointing both hands, and they're like, that was the easiest pass in the world. Why don't you just kick it? That would have been so simple.
I was wide open, kind of.
It's like, well, now when the play's developed, you're standing on your own, but like you were like, meandering in with defenders on you. It wasn't like it was I had the ball in space. The ball came to me. I had to look up, make a decision, and he's act like, look, I was right there. Come on, and then cut to him getting hit by the ball, standing in the way.
He has. Anytime we are just about to move on from giving him a hard time, he doesn't help himself. He has the worst game we've ever seen him have since the last one.
Well, did you see him come on? When like Inzaghi was like slapping his back, like he was doing like his PR set, like going for a world record bench, like, you got this, man, you got this.
Let's go, push it.
And Jacko gave him a big like, hey, you're the best in the world, all right? But listen to what they say, big old hug, like and this is what I said last night. Like, he's too smart for something. He overthinks these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the first time when the ball hit him, He was like just
Not his fault.
standing there, in the right area. That's what he should be. It was Dimatteo, was it Dimatteo? Not Dimatteo, fucking DeMarco, sorry. DeMarco hit that looping header.
Yeah.
And it just was like, again, in another game, Ederson's like, well, that's not going in. But it was just the chaos of it and the panic, like, oh, this could be the goal. He hits off the crossbar, comes back to DeMarco. DeMarco just like a fucking LeBron off the glass, dunked his own shot. It would have been one of the greatest goals ever in the Champions League final. And Lukaku's there, like, watching this ball ping pong around him, and then it just hits him in the leg.
Standing directly in the way.
I was like, oh, God. And this thing, right? Another striker is like, I got the next one. He's thinking about that in 7 different languages.
He's going, I did it again. This happened in the Belgium game in the World Cup.
He's thinking Megan Thee Stallion is just like writing a new song about right now. What am I going to do about this? How am I going to fix this? And of course the ball comes to him and he hits this in the one place where he couldn't score.
I can't believe it. Remember the last Belgium game of the World Cup where he missed like 5 sitters or 6 sitters?
Yeah.
And there was the one where the ball came right across to him. I think it was like an open goal.
Yeah.
And he chested it wide or chested off the post or something. It's kind of like that, where it's like, you did the only thing you shouldn't have done.
Honestly.
Anything else and it's a goal.
Yeah, it was mad. And I saw like a BT Sport, because obviously BT Sport, English broadcaster, there were people watching this game are Man City fans. And they do it for everyone. When it's Man United, when it's Arsenal, the English team was the best. They had a fucking compilation of Ederson's best moments in the game. I was like, are you joking? They had the one where he came out and claimed the ball, which is grand. But like the one where that save, the great save, like he headed it like 6 yards. It was so close. He headed it off, Ederson's leg, who kind of hit him, and then he reacted after he hit his leg, and then bounced off Diaz's head and he was in the goal afterwards. It was like there was so little space for the ball from Lukaku's head to over the line. All he was getting like a tiny distance of line that nearly ricocheted back in the goal. And then it's like, what a save! I was like, no, that we tried to give Lukaku a hard time, but that was his worst moment of the game.
That was the worst. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was his worst appearance I've ever seen. Between him and then when they were like bringing on Mkhitaryan to win the game, I was like, I'm fucked up with these lads. They've let me down so much in my life.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Mkhitaryan got injured in the semi-final. He got it was a leg injury. He got injured and then he tried to play on, went down again. I was like, he'll either play in the final and be terrible, or he won't play. In the end, he came on and played terrible. So I was wrong again. I didn't see that permutation of him coming on and having zero impact. But the other player, speaking of injuries, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yes,
he was unlucky again in the Champions League final.
This was a weird one because it happened to him in the last final, and it was just like, this fella has no look, like he just can't catch a break. It turns out he was playing with a torn hamstring for 2 months, so this was coming. This wasn't a case of like, unlucky pal. This was bound to happen.
Well, it's their 61st game of the year. They obviously won the league last year, got to the Champions League semi-final last year. They've been to a lot of Champions League semi-finals. They've always been in been first and second for the last 5 years. A lot of games on the they've how many times won the Carabao Cup as well, a lot of games played. And Kevin De Bruyne is as good as they are, as deep as the squad is. Like, I know Phil Foden came on and that was a great,
you have to play De Bruyne,
come on. But I mean, he is, like, he's still riding your best players, even if you're City, like, so he has played a lot of games. And like the real crowning achievement for this team, this was a terrible game. They played terrible, and only for fucking Lautaro Martinez, Lukaku, and 37-year-old Dzeko, who couldn't fucking put away the chances that the few chances that they got. They won't ever going to get many chances, but like they only won 1-0 against one of the worst teams they played all year. Where would this Inter Milan team finish in the Premier League? I know that's like a classic like Premier League elitists take, but like honestly,
no. But they were not good.
And then, but like my point being that their finest moment this year was beating Real Madrid. And in the first leg, to keep them in the game, to not let Real Madrid get a win, was Kevin De Bruyne with that unbelievable shot, that unbelievable goal. Like that was, he is the team. He is the main guy. So, I don't know. It's unfortunate for him, but I don't think anybody will think, well, he never did a final for them, you know.
It's a joke. Anyone thinks that is meant.
I wouldn't say even that narrative will ever come out, you know. But I do feel sorry for Wallace that he get to finish it and playing it. But
no, it's interesting because you said that his hamstring is like it totally tore, which that sounds like a bad injury.
Yeah.
He was like, it's totally snapped.
This is the thing. It's like, you know, if that was like Grealish, he'd be like in tears off the pitch. It'd be like an iconic moment. Like De Bruyne just like professionally like waves off and like, yeah, I'm done for today. I think it's off the bone. You know? He like makes no scene, no crying, nothing. Just like, yeah, I'm in severe pain.
My leg's gone.
I'll never be the same again. Right, let's get Phil on. You know, Phil, you know the system.
Come on, keep it tight. No messing, lads.
Yeah. Phil nearly scored actually.
Yeah, he did.
You know, that's the beauty of it. Like, I mean, I think for a lot of teams, you lose a player like, you know, your best player. It's not only that, he's going to be the match winner. It's like the player coming on is just, he's going to lower the standard of the team. You know, but for City, Phil Foden was on and nearly got the winner for, you know.
John Stones as well was amazing.
Yeah, a word for John Stones, I suppose.
The box-to-box defender role is crazy.
I've seen highlights of Beckenbauer. Now, obviously, I've never seen him playing his prime, never seen him play live, but I think that was as close to anyone I've seen play like Beckenbauer. Like the way he kind of came from the back from midfield and just slalom by players. Like what is this?
Crazy.
He had the most dribbles in the Champions League final since Lionel Messi in 2015.
John Stones.
I'll tell you, the second one of Beckenbauer out there. He was unbelievable.
Did you see the clip of Pep talking about him from the first season they signed him where he wasn't performing too well?
No.
A few people have been posting it. I'll stick it here.
Pep, you've talked a lot about your attack. Could you just say what you think about John Stones' performance today? He's been criticised a lot this season, but he seemed to play very well.
John Stones had more personality than all of us here together in this room. More balls than everyone here, guys. So, and I like that player. I love. With under pressure, the people criticize him, the people say, well, he went there and play again, and when I play, when we talk, when we that. So I am delighted to have John. With all his huge amount of mistakes they have, I love him. I love this kind of guys with this personality. Because it's not easy to play central defender with this manager. It's not easy. All the managers defend there, headache, long balls, channel. You have to defend 40 meters behind and make a build-up. So it's not easy. That's why I admire a lot my central defenders.
It's a cool clip because obviously he saw it before anyone else did. I remember John Stones being royally mocked for, he can pass it, but he can't defend, can he?
He could make the team 2 years ago. It was Laporte and there was a period there where people were like, is John Stones up to it? Like, you know, I mean, this for me, this is the worst thing about this whole City thing, because Pep is undoubtedly like a really, really good manager, and like tactically, he has, you know, he sees things that people don't see. Like other people said, John Stones, no, I don't see anything there, you know, because he might have 2 or 3 things, but I need 3 things, and you know what, I have unlimited money, so fuck it, get him out, get someone else in.
Yeah.
Give me a Leipzig defender, you know, they have loads of centre backs there. Let's get them in. But because it's City, there's always that kind of asterisk, like, but you do have all the money in the world, you know, and you did buy John Stones for 55 million from Everton way back when, and that was, you know, so like, I wish he'd done this with somebody else. I wish he'd created like a John Stones type thing, bring in a defender who can't defend, but he's really good at play.
Make them himself.
You know, we could just do that with a team that didn't have endless money. It wasn't a nation state, you know, like it's always a thing. But I mean, yeah, look, Pep was happy with it, I would say. They're very foul-mouthed interviews after. I thought
there was a lot of
effing and blind.
BT and CBS loved that fucking on the pitch casual swearing. I genuinely now I think the BT and CBS style of punditry over like it's all bits with the players is immeasurably worse than the Sky Sports fan zone.
I thought you said this is the way forward. I was like, oh, well, interesting.
No, it's way worse. I hate it.
Yeah, I saw a clip there of Jack Grealish asking Thierry Henry how would he manage against
the Walker
after the game. I was like, what is this? Like, this is our fucking
You won the Champions League today, man.
This is our slower schedule. Stop stealing our bits, our hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
But
This is the thing. There was so much bits like that and so much like laughing and joking and things like that. I saw no actual analysis of the game anywhere.
no, it was a bad game, and Grealish obviously very honest after he said, I played shit.
Yeah, he said it.
Rodri also, the match winner, said, I was shite in the first half.
He was okay. I wouldn't say he was
He said he played shit in the first half. And of course, people are like, sorry for the swearing. I hope that doesn't put the ratings up too high. Hope any clips out of this. But
more money.
And of course, Grealish, we mentioned him there, but I mean, he was always going to be the star of this show, wasn't he?
That's your name. We're Man City and we're on the piss again. Something's happening to me. Spend all my money on City. I want to follow you everywhere.
Oh my God, that is, man. Do you know who? I read an interview with someone during the week, and it's given me a bad sign of things that may be to come for Grealish. Did you ever hear about Dwight York after the treble?
No, I didn't hear the story. Well,
fell off a fucking cliff because he was just like, I've done it. That's my life goal done. I'm going to party all summer. And then when he got back, he's like, don't know if I'm really up for doing this again. Yeah. And he just was never the same player. And he like went to Ferguson and asked for a break and everything. Ferguson was like, no, are you joking me? Like, we're all still going. Yeah. But I wonder if that could be the case for Grealish, judging from all the videos of him still in his kit, I think today.
As we record this podcast, he's still in his kit. Yeah, I saw one where he was, I think it was a fan, he was saying, have you ever won the treble? And then he took the mic off and said, no, I'll sing it, I'll sing it, because, it wasn't a fan, it was somebody else, I don't know. I thought it looked like...
Who's he singing it to?
It looked like a car park of like 6 people. Like, they're all there. Ederson was there with an alcohol spritz in his hand. Walker was there. Diaz
but like
there.
you sing that to like teams or players who haven't do it. You don't sing it to the fans in the car park, would you?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a social media age, Will. They'll all see us. They'll see us.
Yeah. They'll see it.
Up on the dressing room walls. I'll play on a loop in the Liverpool dressing room. Have you ever won the treble before? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting, the whole the treble thing. I mean, obviously they were introducing Erling Haaland. And he said, never in his wildest dreams you think he'd win the treble at 22. I was like, well, I feel like you've been groomed for this your entire life. But
yeah, he's like, it shows anything is possible for a little boy, a boy from a little town in Norway. It's like
with a Premier League da.
You're 6'6".
With the millionaire da, and the winning lottery ticket of the genetic lottery. I don't know. It's
yeah, I thought that was
but he did say he's ready to go again. He's ready to do it all again, cover himself and go back out again. Yeah, I think for Grealish, I don't know. I think there's the England stuff. I mean, Dwight York played for Trinidad and Tobago. Am I correct in saying that? The England pressure is you're constant in the spotlight, and maybe that's it now. Maybe you think, well, I've won it all with my club. Maybe now it's England time. Maybe that's what keeps him going.
Yeah, it's interesting because even his first interview, he was likable as always in all his interviews. But he, like you said, Haaland was talking about how he's ready to go again. Like, doesn't stop here. Blah, blah, blah. One of the first things Grealish said was he wants to ask Pep how long until they're back. Like, how much of a holiday do they get? It was like the difference in the two mindsets is crazy. And Haaland's mindset is mental as well, to be like on the pitch and saying, let's go again. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, well, I think Haaland has his whole career planned out. I think he has Real Madrid penciled in for like a couple of years from now, isn't it? Well, that was a rumor that came out. He's going to go to Man City because it's the best team in the world at the moment. But he's thinking, well, okay, how do I move into superstardom? Galactico, obviously. Maybe that's changed now. Maybe he'll end up in Riyadh.
Yeah.
The plan is a fluid plan, I'm sure. If things change like that, but I mean, he seems like it's this is why the whole thing of like, wow, a little boy with a dream. It's like, well, you're
the best player in the world, man.
and your whole career's been planned out by your dad, and he he literally knows what it takes to get there. I mean, it's a little different, but yeah, and I think I did see someone's like, you're not the only. I think is Solskjaer also from the
Yeah,
same
Solskjaer's from.
area. I know some nowhere, but is he from the same small town?
I don't know if
I saw somebody say that you're not even the second Norwegian from the same small town to win the treble in the last 25 years. I was like, well, I know they're both from nowhere, but I don't know if they're the same, like they're neighbours, like, you know.
Well, they were both involved in that club Ollie was managing.
Mold.
Yeah, so can't be too far away.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but the whole thing was great for the citizens out there, you know.
Their treble parade is on right now as we speak. I'm genuinely very curious to see the turnout. Not in a like, oh, Man United is better way. Genuinely curious.
No. Every year it's the same thing. It's like it's the Trump inauguration that went on for seemingly years. The argument over was that the real picture, was that the start of the day, at the end of the day, sorry. This way, people, it's like it's semantics. I mean, like they've won the treble.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whenever people turn out for the parade, it fucking doesn't matter. Like you're like, yeah, well, the parade isn't big. It's like, yeah, well, it's too late now. Okay?
Where's your parade?
Go home, man. It's done, right? Don't worry about the parade. They did it.
They'll get around to the charges eventually. Relax.
Nobody can stop them, and whatever. This may or may not be an asterisk at some point, but don't worry about the parade. All right, it's
something that the City fans might be a bit worried about hearing was that Pep, it seems, is confirmed to people behind the scenes that 2 more years and then he's done. He's had his fill, which is fair enough. Still a long time away. Plenty more to win in the time.
Well, this is like you mentioned there, Ferguson. I obviously experienced Dwight York and maybe a few others.
I think United finished 3rd the year after the treble, and it was their lowest ever finish in the Premier League.
The then 92 to 2002, whatever it was. But yeah, like he probably experienced that, like this bit of a drop off afterwards. And then we've all heard the stories when they're coming up to this of Rio and Evra being like he at the head office after he won on the plane home.
Yeah.
Because he was worried about things happening again.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for City, it's maybe different. It's a different time, and it's like more kind of maybe the example of Messi, Ronaldo, and like, well, yeah, well, how many Ballon d'Ors have you won? You know, because I've won 8. You know, is Haaland thinking I have to win 8 Ballon d'Ors to be on the level or whatever? You know, maybe the goals are higher now, but
yeah,
there could possibly be a drop off next year.
Yeah.
I mean, what, you have to defend the treble? That's impossible. You know,
back-to-back trebles.
It's like when Pep took over Bayern and they had won the treble the year before. I was like, well, what's he going to do? Win it again? You know, and of course he didn't, because it's hard to win the treble. So I was like, yeah, he won the league, and I think he won the cup. Didn't win Champions League, so technically he's done worse. You know, they won the league convincingly, and you know, and they played great stuff, but they didn't win the league. And last year, they didn't win Champions League, and last year they did. So.
It wasn't. I was thinking like the United treble team. A lot of them were gone very soon after. Like there was a totally different team come 2002, say. So like, and City have the resources that look. If anyone does drop off, you're out of here, pal.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne could drop off. I mean, this is obviously a bad injury he got, or he reckons, anyways. He's been on the go a long time, and he's been, like, say, the heart and soul of the team for a long time too. So, I mean, you know, if he has to have a great season, maybe he can't do it for 61 games. You know, maybe he can only do it for maybe 40 games. And it's unfortunately the last 30 games where you start to fade are the ones at the squeaky bum time, which we've recently found out what that means. You know, so like if
you'll never hear squeaky bum time on this podcast ever again.
Not the way we remember it. But Gundogan also, he's like going to Arsenal. Bernardo Silva was talking weirdly after the game, like, let's just enjoy the moment, fellas. Let's not talk about my transfer, my impending transfer to probably Arsenal or Newcastle. You know,
I saw that he did the interview Ronaldo did after he won the Champions League and was like, oh, actually, maybe I'm going to leave. You know, maybe this is it for me. But like, it's one thing when you're like Ronaldo doing that, and it's a huge. Bernardo Silva has been saying this for years. He's kind of like a squad player now at City, even though he's amazing. So it's just a bizarre interview. Like, man, enjoy it, will you? Like, have a bit of fun.
It'd be tough though, because like he has put in some unbelievable performances for them, and like it does. He's always been like fighting for like respect. They see like, listen, I'm as good as anybody here, and then every
Yeah.
year, like be it him, his agent, or be it Man City being like, he may be for sale, So then every summer he's like, fuck, like where am I going to end up? Am I going to end up in Italy? Am I, like, and then you come back next year and go, right, well, I got to reprove myself. Every year it's the same thing. It's like, so now he's like, well, I'm going to say anything because I could be gone and I don't want to like lower my value and I don't want to fucking, end up like Cancelo, like it can happen to
No one
anybody.
wants that. Mahrez also is linked with a move to Saudi Arabia, who I only put it together. Well, I only saw. I didn't realize that apart from Messi and Ronaldo, the majority of the players they're going for are all Muslim. So that's the idea, is to like, make an attractive place for Muslim players and build up that aspect of it. So Mahrez coming in would be a big one. And he's probably a player who's like, all right, I've won the league with Leicester. I've won it a million times with City. Now I've won the treble. I'm probably going to be getting phased out soon just because that's how it works at City.
Yeah.
Now's the time. Cash in.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely cash in. I mean, learn anything from the Live Golf,
Yeah. You're going to buy the league anyway. Go there now.
Cash in, you always come back,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that could be a move. But like that's the thing, like it is the ultimate. Like obviously the quadruple would have been nice. It's funny that the year they won the treble is like one of the few years they don't win the Carabao Cup as well.
United did it. We stopped them.
The United stopped the quadruple. Everybody can be thankful for that. But look, it's funny because they've won this one, but I always say it's about the France national team and Didier Deschamps. I'm the only person beating this drum. It was like, should they have won more? Like they've won one World Cup, and you look back at all the talent they had and like how close they were to win the Euros and how close they were to win this World Cup. It's like, is it Deschamps' fault? He couldn't beat 25-year-old Messi on his own. He had a whole team of Mbappes and
moved to America for Christ's sake.
But like this team, like they should have won the one in Chelsea. That we won against Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know it's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's hard to know. And I think the one last year against Real Madrid, they were 2-0 up at the end of the second leg.
There's nothing they could do in that game.
That was just written in the stars. There's a few there. The one the game lost to Leon. Remember that one lost like the quarterfinal. It's like, whoa, Jesus, that's a bit early for them to lose to Leon. They've left a few on the shelf, I think.
Yeah.
So I think this treble win is like, okay, now I can relax. Like if fucking, I don't know. It's hard to think of an example in the league, but because they've won the league so much, it's maybe Liverpool actually is a good example in the league, where it's like they were trying so hard to beat City, they were so close, and when they won it, then the next year there's a big drop off because like, well, we did it, like we finally did it. It was really hard to do, and then we've you have to do it again now. I mean, where's the motivation? Like we vanquished the demons. For City now, the Champions League was the big one, combined with the treble, the undoable treble from no one can do it except for that great United team. I wouldn't be surprised. And now Pep's saying I'm leaving. Now there's like the boss is leaving for the next 2 years. Like, so I don't have to worry about that. If you're a younger player, if you're Julian Alvarez, someone like the next generation coming through, you're thinking, well, it's not going to be as tough around here anymore.
Yeah, it does feel like it's normally like big treble wins like that. That's like it's the beginning of an era. It's like, wow, this is one of the special teams. This really felt like almost the end of it. Like they did it, and it seems like I think next year, like we were saying, it seems like every team is going to be a whole new slew of players.
Yeah,
like all the old guard are kind of gone, and even players like say in different leagues, like Benzema's gone to Saudi Arabia while he's still flying it, but it's just like I'm done, and that's popping up all over the league. So it's like, I think City are the same, where this is kind of the end of this era, and it's winding down now with Pep being like, all right, I'm also going soon, lads. So don't worry too much.
Yeah. And I think, you might say, well, the money's there and they'll get in somebody else and it's going to keep rolling.
It's not that easy.
It's just when you look at they had the money since 2008, and obviously you have to go through the Robinho, Benjani, Stephen Ireland phase of like, okay, we have to establish ourselves in the Premier League as a decent team and show that we can pay money. And the money's not going anywhere. The money's not going to fade out. So you can come here, you'll still get paid. But like, say when they won the league in 2012, on the last day, They won it once more then before Pep came in 2018. Chelsea won it twice. Leicester won it. United won it obviously the year after. They had the same amount of money. It wasn't like they got when Pep came in. Like a good period there where like they had the money, they had great players like Aguero and company.
Good managers.
Like, but it just Pep come in really made the difference, made them this dominant team. Like obviously there was a build up of players coming in, but I mean, I think when Pep leaves, that'll be huge.
Yeah, and like I don't think no matter who the next manager is, even if it's the best manager that's available in the world at the time, just that squad are gonna. Pep is gonna be their guy, no matter what.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be tough to get to know a new manager. It's like, oh well, we never played that way under Pep.
Yeah,
we normally tap, I tap it in.
When Pepper's here, it's like, shut up about Pep. Shut up about Pep. I don't know about Pep anymore. That'll definitely be a headline in tabloids. A no Pep rule at City. No one mentions the word Pep anymore.
Because even like if you think of when Fergie left, and it was like the little things like Moyes banned chips from the canteen.
Yeah. We always had chips for Fergie.
Fergie had chips, and we won the league with him.
Yeah, that must mean that chips equals leagues. Yeah, it's
this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
It's a tough act to follow. It's always going to be like he is their Fergie. He is the greatest manager they've ever had. I mean, like, and this I think you said this before. Like, he's never going to leave because it's such an easy gig. It's like you're on the league and no one watches. And I was like, okay, well, like that's very sweeping. But when you think about it, like. Yeah, like there's nobody there. Like, I mean, he left Barcelona because it was the pressure of it all, and he was going insane, and he had to take a year sabbatical, and then he went to Bayern, and there was like, that's when I found out about that Bayern were called Hollywood FC because of all the old guys were like, yeah, well, back when we won 100 million leagues, we did this way. Whereas I say there's none of that, and it was like Pep, whatever you want, we'll do it. I mean. Like there's a few managers like Pellegrini and Mancini, like who won the league, and then they had like a few slip ups, and I was like, that's kind of a big mess of all the money we gave you, But when Pep came in, he could loosely in the Champions League. He could fuck up that Champions League final against Chelsea. I was like, Pep, don't worry about it. We trust 100%. Like no one gets that kind of that carte blanche anywhere else.
No, the leeway.
Like it's a sweet gig, but. When you win the treble, what else is there? I mean, I know there's the quadruple. You don't have to spell out for me. I know there's a quadruple, but like, there's nothing else. He's done it.
And I do think it's that case of like if he wins, like he's won the treble now, and then to go back and say if it's something as silly as like the stadium's still not full, which people are like, oh, it's a stick to beat them with. But I mean, if you're Pep, you're like, oh fucking, what else could I do to build this club? And it doesn't feel like it's working.
Yeah, no, it takes a while to build that up. Like it takes.
Yeah, it's a generation growing up that they'll love it now, but it takes time to actually see that. I think. Yeah,
like when the first like young lads became Chelsea fans, and it was like a normal thing because they weren't aware of the geopolitical situation that Chelsea were in. They're just one of the teams that won. Whereas like that it takes time for people. For kids who are babies now to get to the age of 10, 11 and I want to support a team in the Premier League, and they go, oh, who's winning? City. Right, I'll pick them. And no one to bat an eyelid because like, don't you know about 2008? It's like no one's talking about that in school. No one's talking about the takeover.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they are now. I feel like we talk about a lot more now than we ever did because it's Newcastle, it's the Saudi League, it's the golf, it's the Formula One, it's just so omnipotent. Like, but I don't know. It's I feel like everything. No one ever told you when you were a kid. Yeah, but do you remember when they bought Andy Cole from Newcastle? They just took their best player.
Exactly.
Does that mean you grappled with it and you started supporting Man United as a young lad? Like you just entered the equation. Like he's like, who's winning? I'll support them. It's a tough one because you have to give them their dues. Like and I want to give them their dues. As an Arsenal fan, I want to say, yeah, this is the greatest team ever, and that's why Arsenal lost them. But it's just like you can't separate the art and the artist this time. It's just like but like we know how they got there. It's
like listening to an XXX Tentacion album before he died. Oh, this is great, but he's a bad guy.
Ignore as much as you want, but apparently it's a bit of a nightmare, logistically, the stadium and all that stuff as well, which is another
classic Champions League.
Another UEFA W, What about the pre-match show, Will?
I tell you.
What is this? What is
That
this?
was insane. Did you hear they took a portion of the budget? So like Pepsi sponsored it.
Yeah.
So Pepsi took all the money that they put into the Super Bowl halftime show, and they took a big chunk of it and went, let's put it into the Champions League pre-show. That's our new thing. But it doesn't work in football. You could hear all the fans chanting their own songs over the music.
Sound system, which was insane.
Which, even if you're there, that's genuinely difficult to do. It's disorientating.
Yeah, no, it was impressive how loud they got. That time, the disdain they had for it. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't care, you're just going to go on your phone. Like, I'm just going to go I'm going to take a piss actually during this. But they were like, let's fuck this. Like, we're here for the football. Like, we're not having to go.
Yeah.
Americans, but like, it is very American. You know, the halftime show, the pre-show, the whole come. And I was thinking about this. Is it because like in America, if you're going to like, you know, games, it's a flight, always a flight.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big trek, so you have to have like feel like you're getting the weekend out of it. It needs to be an event. And then we're going the same way of like, let's make it a show kind of. It's like people are there for the football. The football is interesting enough. You know, like,
yeah, you don't need anything. If anything, it took away from the build up, because like you love those moments where you see the players in the tunnel all intense.
Yeah.
But you saw the clips of the players in the tunnel, and then it cut back, and it's like Burner Boy rapping, and there's fireworks going off. Then it cuts back to the tunnel, and the players are like looking down the hallway, like, what's going on out there? Even I was watching on RTE, and the commentators were widely mocking the pre-show, which is something you don't see in American sports. Again, it doesn't work in football.
I think he said the organizer of this pre-match show is the same organizer of the Super Bowl, which tells its own story. I think it was Darren only that line. It's like, yeah, it's just like we'll watch this, and it's like, I think actually your man on co-commentary, Stephen Kelly. And he was like, "You're singing along to your Darren." They were taking the piss out of him. Like.
And they kept going on about the tarp. Like how long they wouldn't stop talking about how quickly they had to get the tarp up before the game started.
This tarp, this risk is an absolute fiasco, Dara. Think what's into the pitch. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because they set the sprinklers off, which they always do. Then they put a big cover over it and had people dance all over it, and then they took the cover off. And for the first 5 minutes, players were slipping everywhere.
You can't see the game. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing has gone a bit American for me, a bit Hollywood.
Yeah, it's a beautiful game. It's ruined.
Well, that whole I know we talk about the game first, and now we're talking the build up for a second, but no one cares about the build up. This is just my thoughts on the build up. It was what I imagine the opposite of your FA Cup final build up. You're like, this is gonna happen. This is going to happen, you know. Whereas the more I watch, it's like, this is pointless. What am I doing? Like, this is going to be an absolute like,
it's a waste.
It's like when the teams go up, like, oh my god, is that really the best they have? You know, like. And then the game started. It was the opposite. It was like they were pressing and they were making mistakes. Like, oh my fucking hell, what's happening here? Is this a game? Are we in the game right now?
Oh, they're nervous.
Yeah, it was one of the better European finals this year. But yeah, I suppose the other European final that happened, the other champions of Europe, which they were singing, which I don't know, Will. I love the Europa League conference thing. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great tournament. You know, it's a great piece of silverware, and I'm happy for David Moyes, right? But you're not champions of Europe. You can't say you're champions of Europe.
They're qualifiers of Europe because now they're in the Europa League. I think that's the main thing. And the first trophy in like 50 years or whatever.
Yeah, look, fair play. West Ham won a trophy this year. Have they had a better season than Arsenal? I saw. Maybe.
Tough year for
you know,
Arsenal.
I guess that's that London kind of prickliness coming out. But
yeah,
thankfully, I'm not from London. You know. So I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But yeah, champions of Europe.
It meant a lot to them, though. You could tell. Did you see the clip of the kid bawling his eyes out?
Absolutely amazing. This is the best night of my life ever. I just can't believe I'm here. I think I'm dreaming. I just can't believe West Ham have won something. We won more titles than Spurs, and I just can't believe this. Come on, you ones. West Ham are the best club in the world. I'm saying it. West Ham are the best club in the world. Come on, you
Yeah, one of the most over-celebrated Mickey Mouse tournaments I've ever seen, I think, after on the pitch. Like, I mean, the celebrations were unbelievable on the pitch. You know, it wasn't like
I mean, Moisey, his
Yeah.
first trophy is
he was singing songs,
unbelievable
singing
stuff.
on the pitch. Yeah, it was kind of a crappy enough game. It was funny. It was Jarrod Bowen who got the goal in the final. Mainly because he feels like the protagonist of this whole thing, because he's going out with Danny Dyer's daughter, Danny Dyer Jr. So, and there's the chant and all that Danny Dyer likes, or like thinks is all right, and it had to be Jarrod Bowen. He had to be the one to bring this home for Danny, who played a hard man in football movies 20 years ago. That's
it's weird that like they all love him so much.
It's like
he's not involved at all.
But he's West Ham till he dies. He's an EastEnder as well. Come on, what more do you want?
It'd be like if after the League Cup, United players were like, "This one's for Vinnie Jones."
Or it's like if when City won the treble, they said this one's for Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not every club can have a list of legends, Will. Like, Roy Keane and David De Gea. They don't all have these legends just popping around. You take what you can get. But it wasn't a great game. There's some unsavory scenes. Like, I got head split open from my West Ham Cup. So
that was nasty. It's funny as well because up until that, I was like, "Come on, West Ham! I love West Ham." And then that I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot."
I told you, football fans don't need a big song and dance. They just need a bit of football, a bit of drink, a bit of crowd violence. That's all they need, right?
Yeah,
they need all the flash of Hollywood, right? He got a fucking bad cut back of the head there.
I think he got a vape thrown at his head. Was that what it was?
It looked like one of the cups they hand out in the stadium. Beer cups.
It was a nasty cut. He took it like a champ, though. He like walked off.
Yeah,
he didn't react to it at all. Just walked and angry, like pointed at his head to the ref and said, "Look, I'm bleeding from the brain."
Yeah, for fuck's sake, come on, one look at things.
This again.
But yeah, they came out victorious. Declan Rice then came out very quickly after the game and said, "I'm leaving."
Yes, the Ronaldo.
I've achieved everything I need to achieve, and I'm gone. Which it's grand when you win. I think if they lost that, the reaction mightn't have been as favourable.
Well, that's the Mane from last year.
Yeah. Well, he won 2 cups. Will he did the double, the cup double? If you leave after getting to a final and not winning, it's like thanks for nothing. Even though
left when the going got tough.
Yeah.
Did you?
Come back and do it again. Run it back. But I don't know where he'll go. I mean, I guess the one has been Chelsea for a long time, and then everything went shit to Chelsea. So that'd be one of the worst places he could go, I imagine.
It's Arsenal are going big for him, but
yeah,
that'd be a huge move for Arsenal, I think.
I think it would end in disaster. I do.
Just years of
I just think English midfielders who've moved to a club in this current year. Obviously, Frank Lampard moved in 2004. Totally different.
Yeah.
There was eyes on him and there was pressure on him, and he was going to be the next English midfielder and all that stuff. But like now, it's just like with Twitter the way it is now, it's just like every bad game he has, it's like he's washed, he's cooked, he's he got done by a Brighton youth product. It's just there's nothing you can do when you're English. That's like tenfold. So he goes to Arsenal, and it's a good team at the moment, but there will be games where he has a bad game, and there will be pressure on him, and I just I don't want that. I don't want that.
We know the pressure at Arsenal, especially, is big,
and they want him to
get it from all angles.
He want to be on the pitch with BT. Talk about that. Why did you lose that game, Deck? And speaking of which, England game coming up. How do you feel for that? It's like, it's you don't want English midfielders. I mean, we'll see how Mason Mount does at Man United.
Yeah, that is one I see ended in disaster. I don't have high hopes for transfers to my club. I don't think you have high hopes for transfers to your club.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It feels like an end of an era we've just seen. The kind of the mid 2000s era, I guess. The kind of like after the National League, everyone, okay, right, this is a fucking joke. Let's really kick it up a notch here now.
Let's everyone get really good.
And we saw a peak there from like Champions Leagues and like the Liverpool City best of 7 series every year, like just unbelievable high quality. And I think it's kind of burned out now. And it's going to be who's going to emerge from this? Who's going to be the new players? Who's like Haaland obviously is the front runner. of like he's going to spearhead this new kind of teams in the Premier League. But
Yeah.
it is interesting. But you know, you can never really hope because it doesn't base the hope on. That's the issue. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the conventional wisdom would say that City will win again, and if Klopp is still there, he'll make something of nothing at Liverpool.
They'll be back.
Sign
Yeah.
McAllister immediately. He had a bio clause, something that maybe Harry Kane should have thought of when he was doing notification. Like, I mean, once you have a bio clause, it's very easy. That was just like, yeah, bio clause done. 35 million, probably underweight.
Yeah. 35 million.
35 million for a World Cup winner. You know, I mean, in this market, seems pretty low, but bio clause. So what are you gonna do? You know, nothing, I guess.
Harry Kane spitting his tea out reading the morning newspaper.
Bio clause. Charlie. Yeah, it's it is quite easy when you have a clause that says I can go when this.
I want to leave. I did see what's his name? Is it Robin Koch? Koch? Koch for Leeds. He has a clause in his contract where he's forbidden from playing in the Championship.
Forbidden.
Yeah. So because they've got relegated, they either have to sell him or he's not allowed to play in any of the league games. That's a clause.
That's a hell of a clause.
That's a good agent.
I don't know how they got that through, honestly. I'm saying, well...
Because they were like, we'll never be relegated.
What was it, 20 years we're there? We're at one? We'll never be back. What's COVID? What do you mean? Stay at home, no fans. But that's our biggest thing. Yeah, no, that's a mad thought. If he's at the club, they can't play him legally.
He can't play legally. He can't play.
Is that even?
His hands are tied.
Is that even legal to be illegal? That's seems like an anti-labor law or something. I don't know. It's something dodgy with that. Yeah, I mean that's the next sport, isn't it? Who will win the transfer league this year? Last year was Tottenham. And look how that turned out.
Well, I think the broad consensus was yes, Tottenham won it, but we have an episode titled "Arsenal have won the transfer window" from last summer.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did. I saw that not too long ago. From, I guess, the Jesus, Zinchenko.
Yeah, no, that all starts now. We have an Ireland game coming up, of course. Qualifier.
Big one. One we have to win.
We must win
really.
After a loss to France, unfortunately. We drew. Yeah, we lost France, didn't we? Yeah.
Lost
to France. We have to beat Greece in Athens in a heatwave, apparently. It's
goody. Just what the Irish players are made for.
Well, look, the last few weeks, hopefully they've been out training, you know, because it's been fucking balmy over here. But when it's 27 degrees here, it's probably closer to 40 in Athens.
Yeah, a lot less wind and rain as well.
Yeah, I mean, it has been all right, but so we'll be back to talk about that. I mean, for the league season, I guess the club season, it is finally over, Will. Is that right?
It's thank God. That is the longest.
Should we double check it just in case?
We're confirmed. There's no more
Premier League from like game week 7 that we missed. We got to play it now. There's a double game week for Brighton again.
No, we are confirmed. Done with the 2022-2023 season.
11th of June. No, yeah, 11th
12th of June.
When did it start? Back in August? Honestly, it was
nearly a full entire year.
Holy hell. I mean, the big winners, I guess, is probably Qatar. The World Cup was unreal.
I tell you, the big winners are the Middle East.
The Gulf, baby.
Yeah. Qatar,
Saudi Arabia.
City? Saudi Arabia, they're bursting into the scene. Abu Dhabi just won the Champions League. They've done it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good year. I mean, when they thought back when they were like, let's buy a club and let's try and get the World Cup to Qatar, it could have lined up. Really, you know, I mean,
they played a blinder.
They really did play a blinder. Honest to God. So yeah, look, it's been fun, Will, this season. We're going to keep it going though throughout the summer.
Yeah, summer pod.
There'll be international game, the Nations League, folks. You know that that's happening. You know, look, full disclosure, right? Full disclosure. The plan we have in our heads is 2 episodes a week. One on patreon.com/Anonymous Podcast. Don't worry, my mic will be working for that one. Yeah, I left the cable at Will's. nursing a concussion.
Which is mad. You've really done well this episode. Cathal has sunglasses on right now.
I'm not looking at the screen. I look like I'm assuming I'm looking like fucking Stevie Wonder right now, like just talking away, looking around with my sunglasses on. But yeah, the concussion number 3 or 4. It's hard to remember after the first 2 how many I've had. But I'm a bit kind of dazed, so I couldn't get the mic working, and I think the cable's in yours. But Patreon this summer, and also a free to air episode during the week. It's going to be, I think, a mix of football, transfer talk. You know, when there's Ireland games, there'll be heavily kind of Ireland games.
Yeah,
big international fixtures, like we'll cover them. If there's monumentous news like Saturday by the Premier League or something like that, like we'll cover the big stuff that happens.
We'll mention it. Yeah,
that'll probably be the main focus. It's still very much a football pod, but it'll be mixed in with kind of other stuff as well over the summer months. So you know what, stick around. Like there's free episodes. That's the plan for summer. But I say the summer, we're halfway through June. It'll start up again in August. So you'll have a month of this kind of like half football, half whatever. Jesus Christ, is it ever going to rain? It's so hot, and then back to the football, back to regular scheduling.
City of bought God.
Yeah. So I hope you'll stick around. And thank you to all the ultras listening who support the Patreon, listen to the paid episodes. They obviously like us. So yeah, that's the summer. Any final thoughts, Will, on the league? What's been your abiding memory of this season?
My abiding memory and what I've really taken from this season, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, that City, I think they've wrapped it up now. It's official. They're a real club. I hate them. I hate them more than any other club. They're my least favorite club now. I turned off the TV before the celebrations. I couldn't watch them.
You didn't watch any post-match, no?
Didn't watch it. And I only do that when Liverpool win things. So they're really up there now.
they've passed the threshold of team I hate for a real team.
They've leapfrogged Chelsea. They're beyond Arsenal. It's them and Liverpool now.
Yeah. Jack Grealish's smiling face, lifting a trophy. That's the next.
It's so likable.
Yeah. I think for myself, the World Cup was unbelievable. A very novel experience, the Winter World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, we have the Women's World Cup as well. To cover that as well.
Yeah, we sure do.
No, but for me, I think, what might have been, Southampton 3, Arsenal 3. That's probably it. Really.
Memory, yeah.
That's I'm talking about the World Cup and City, the treble, but like Arsenal fans will I think will remember.
This was the one.
This was the one that got away. When will we see this again? When will we ever see it again? Yeah. So look, thanks everybody for listening. I think we do a kind of a montage every 6th episode. It feels like. So you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just leave it
because we blew it. We blew the load. We did the montage after the Premier League. We should have waited till this episode.
No one listens anymore. We're losing followers by the day. It was a good time to play it. We'll leave you with one clip of After Nonsense, and hopefully that entices you to sign up. But if not, we'll be back on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this next week. Cover the Ireland game and whatever transfers and all that stuff. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Good luck.
I remember it was like very much like lads who played sports.
Yeah.
I just been in the gym or whatever. I'm on my Muju.
Get a Muju.
I got my county tracksuit bombs and I got my Muju.
Yeah.
I'm heading training. Or I'm just back from training and I'm probably not going to class.
Yeah. I think the whole
sorry, interrupted, but another fad, the starter packs on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Muju milk, county trousers. I just did there. That's
put that up now.
Imagine bringing starter packs back. That would be a move. It doesn't move though.
Imagine we put up a no nonsense starter pack. That would be the most dated post of all time.
Like, how long has this podcast been going? a no nonsense pod. You're an ultra, first off. Second, you don't want any nonsense.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that on the Patreon.
Yeah, we're going to revive dead memes on the Patreon.
Wait till you see the Rage comic I've got cooking up.
Will Leonardo DiCaprio ever win an Oscar?